Before we get into the video, up on the screen right now is a picture of the watch time from subscribers and non-subscribers. And as you can see, most of you watching this video aren't subscribed. So if you haven't yet, please drop a sub. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. And hey, if you regret your decision, you can, unsubscribe later. If you don't like the content, you can do that. So just please drop a sub. Without further ado, let's get into this video. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Valente, and today we are bringing you brand new video today. As you can see on the screen, there is a tweet. The Saints are doing the annual annual schedule guessing challenge. It says guess the correct order of the Saints 2024 opponents for your chance to win 4 tickets to the regular season opener, regular season home opener, 4 pregame sideline passes for the 2024 regular season home opener, and 1 jersey autographed by a Saints player. You click the link and it takes you to bang, a list of every opponent the Saints face in 2024, and you have the opportunity to pick where they are. Now, we're gonna start with the obvious ones. Week 18 is always divisional rivalry, I believe. And over the last, I want to say 5-6 years, the Saints have either faced the Falcons or the Panthers. I don't remember the last time Week 18 was the Bucks game. I think it was 2017 or 2018, one or the other. Last year it was the Falcons. The 2 years previous, I believe it was. So actually, it went from 2021, it was the Falcons. 2022, it was the Panthers, and 2023, it was the Falcons again. So if they're gonna alternate, like that, I'm just going to assume that the Saints will play the Panthers in Week 18. What the hell was that? Okay, I don't know if you heard that, but there was a cat there. Whatever. If there's gonna be sound bites for every single one of these teams, then it's gonna be funny. But Panthers, Week 18, we're gonna go that based off of what has statistically been the rotation over the last few seasons. Week 17 this past year was the Bucks. I don't really know if that's gonna be the same. So we're gonna go back to Week 1. Home opener this past season was the Titans. The year before it was the Falcons, and I want to say the year before that was the Packers. So 2 NFC, 1 AFC. What about 2020? That was NFC South. So I wanna maybe go back to the NFC South. I wanna say that the Falcons could potentially be the Week 1 opponent. I mean, that would be something the Saints are excited for. That'd be something that I'd be excited for. I don't know if it's the home opener or if it's going to be an away opener, but considering last time, the last time we played the Falcons in an opener, it was an away game. I'm just going to choose the Falcons, put them here at Week 1. Okay, no, there was a soundbite there, but I thought it was going to be something funny. We're going to put the Falcons Week 1. Week 2 this past season was the Panthers on Monday Night Football. I think it is possible that you do go back-to-back division games. However, it's highly unlikely, so we're going to avoid Bucks, Panthers, and Falcons there. Obviously, you're not going to play Falcons back-to-back weeks, so we're going to avoid that. So we're erasing about, 4 options off the table here. You got 12 more. Your bye week's not going to be Week 2. We can eliminate that. Chiefs could be one, maybe. I don't know if we're going to go from NFC to AFC in Week 2. I do think we'll stay in the NFC. for week 2 at least. So we're gonna roll out Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Browns. So we're gonna go with usually the LA Rams games are later in the season. Um, the last one that was earlier in the season, week 2, was the NFC Championship rematch in 2019. However, that was an NFC Championship rematch, and I don't think they're gonna put that in week 2. I could be completely wrong. I don't think they're gonna put that in week 2, considering there really no like big implication for that. You're gonna want to put a lot of your big games in the opening couple of weeks to bring in more viewers. So I don't think that the NFL is gonna put that there. So we're gonna save that for later. Washington could be one. We've always played Washington in the earlier weeks of the season. The Giants, I feel like, is another one that's going to be later season. Same with the Packers. Packers could be here. We played them in week 3 this past season, and week 1 the last time. So it's something that you could definitely see in the earlier weeks. I'm going to go and put Packers week 2. Okay. I don't know what that soundbite meant, but whatever. Week 3. I think we're gonna put our first AFC opponent in here. So we have 5 options to choose from: Browns, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. Where do we go with this? I automatically think no matter when the Saints play the Raiders, it's going to be a primetime game, regardless of the fact that Derek Carr is not the best football player and the Raiders are not the best football team. The storyline is there, and that brings in a lot of viewers, regardless of who's a fan of what. You'd like to see Derek Carr versus his old team, maybe even Hunter Renfrow versus his old team. I'm still on that train. I think we could use Hunter Renfrow. Broncos would be one again. Storyline there. That could be one that's a primetime game. You facing your old coach Sean Payton. Sean Payton facing his old team and the Saints. Another one of those things that could be primetime, but wouldn't be surprised if it isn't, considering how bad both the Saints and the Broncos are now. We're just gonna have. I'm gonna roll with one of the other ones. Chiefs. That would be a good one. That's not really going to have really big primetime implications to it unless, you know, start going to suck Patrick Mahomes off. Hey, another Patrick Mahomes versus Derek Carr matchup. That used to be classic, right? Used to be, at least. And then Chargers week 3. We usually play them early in the season as well. I could definitely see the Chargers being the week 3 pick here. You know, let's going over everything. Okay, that soundbite scared me. But Chargers could definitely be the pick there. We usually play Chargers pretty early in the season. I don't remember the last time we played them later in the season. And that would be a fun matchup. Jim Harbaugh getting used to his new team. Justin Herbert potentially with Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, or Brock Bowers. That'd be fun, seeing Justin Herbert against the Saints defense again. Even though that team looks a lot different too. But either way, moving forward, we're going to week 4, where I think we're going to have another. Actually, you know what? No. Man, it's hard. It's really hard to predict where everything's going to play out. But week 4, I think, is where I'm going to put the Bucks first matchup. I think we're going to go back to NFC play. We're going to go back to NFC South play. We're going to put the Bucks first matchup here at week 4. Arg indeed. Okay. Bucks week 4. Moving on to week 5. Usually after the Bucks, we play another AFC opponent, I believe. Let's see. We went from. We gotta throw the Panthers in here at some point. After the Bucks last year, we went to the Texans. In 2022, after the Bucks in week 2, we went. I want to say it was the Panthers. And then 2021, after the first Bucks game, we went. God, that season was a blur for me. I don't know. For this, I'm probably gonna throw the Panthers in here. We always have an early season Panthers matchup, whether always somewhere from weeks 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5. So I have to throw the Panthers in there. You have 4 of your divisional matchups set. I believe Panthers is going to be week 18, without a doubt. Week 1 could be the Falcons. Week 4, I'm not as confident in this now as I was starting, but it's a schedule. It's going to be damn near impossible to predict. It's almost as impossible as getting through the entire first round with a perfect bracket in March Madness. Alright, after the Panthers, usually we face, well, this past season after week 2, we went to week 3 against the Packers. That's already off the thing, so we're not going to do that. After the Panthers in 2022, we went to Vikings. That's not on here. So, do we have any more NFC North opponents here? No. We're going to keep it in the NFC, though, I will say. Washington, Rams. We're not going to keep it out of the NFC South. We're going to stay in the NFC. Rams, Washington, New York, and Dallas. Dallas always seems like a later season matchup, so we're going to keep that for the later season. Washington seems like a early season matchup. I miss Philly. Philly will probably be a later season matchup too. The Giants also seems like a later season matchup. I'm sorry. Week 6, we're gonna go the Commanders. Okay. Week 6, we're gonna go to the Commanders. That's probably the best option out of what we got. Usually the Saints schedules are getting the quote-unquote easiest games out of the way early and having the hardest stretch of games that you somehow win towards the end of the season. Week 7, we're going to return back to AFC play, that being the Broncos, Raiders, Broncos, Browns, and Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Browns in here. We're going to go from Washington to the Browns in week 7. In week 8, we're going to go back to the NFC. Or you know what? No, we're going to go 2 AFC opponents in a row. How about that? We'll go 2 AFC opponents in a row. Week 8, we're going to take Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. We're going to go with the Raiders. Derek Carr versus the little team in week 8. When did this pop up? Okay. Either way. Derek Carr versus the Raiders in week 8. Probably a primetime matchup. Wouldn't hurt to see a primetime matchup with us in it. I imagine we're not going to get very many of those this year. However, I'm excited for this game. I really hope that the Derek Carr mentality in this game is unmatchable or unfuckable, because we've seen what Derek Carr said about the Raiders. He's not a big fan of the Raiders organization anymore. They made his wife cry. Boo-hoo. Derek Carr is going to try his best to beat them in week 8. Hopefully in week 8. I want tickets. Moving on to week 9. We're going to go back to the NFC. There's not very many AFC opponents left. So, we're going to go back to the NFC. In week 9, we're going to have a bye week. Oh, yeah. Yeah, week 9 we're taking the bye week. I feel like having a bye week at the midpoint of the season, and this could be very beneficial for the Saints. That's now when the trade deadline is, I believe. So you get an extra week, and on your bye week, you could the front office could be heavily focused on trading, setting up for the rebuild, or maybe even trying to go over the top, depending on what your record is up to this point. Usually after the bye week, we return to a divisional opponent. Most of the time, it is the Falcons. Other times, it is the Bucks. You have a 50-50 chance of getting this right or not. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. Week 10 of the NFL season, of the 2024 NFL season. The Falcons are your opponent. Week 11, we're going to save the last division game for towards the end of the season, towards like week 16, 17 maybe. So we're going to get into the fun stuff here. In week 11, you are going to face the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. You gotta throw that in there at some point. I don't really know where else I'd put it. I'm kind of running out of things to yap about when putting certain teams where. Last time we played the Philadelphia Eagles, it was in week 17 of 2022. Hold on. Let me cook real quick. And then the last time before that, I believe, was the Trevor Siemian year and like week 16. So we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that for over here. In week 11, I'm leaving it up to the Rams, Broncos, Giants, Cowboys, and Chiefs. We're going to have a very tough stretch of games. In week 11, we're starting with the Dallas Cowboys. That was certainly the soundable time to put there. Okay, week 11, we're starting with the Dallas Cowboys. That's always the later season matchup. Last time I remember us playing the Cowboys, we were like 4-7, so that was either week 12 or 13. The time before that, we were 10-1, so that was also week 12 or 13. Put it in week 12, 13, 11. Can't be too far off. We're gonna put it in week 11. Up next, week 12, we're gonna put the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, this is going to be a very tough stretch of the schedule, in my opinion. Kansas City Chiefs are, no matter who the hell is wide receiver 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, regardless of all of that, no matter what, as long as Patrick Mahomes Jr., I think he's a junior, the second, whatever, as long as Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, they will always be competitive. They will probably always make the playoffs. And the Saints have yet to beat them yet, unless it was the preseason. They played one drive against Mahomes. They did alright. They did pretty good, to say the least. And the last time they played Mahomes in the regular season, it was Mahomes versus Breeze, and it was Breeze's first game back from injury in 2019. It was a very competitive game. However, the Saints defense got torched by Mecole Hardman Jr. and Tyreek Hill. Things look a lot different now, but it's going to be a fun game, maybe. Hopefully it's a fun game. I fully expect them to bend us over and blow our backs out, but whatever. Week 13, we're going to finish off this tough stretch of games by putting in the Los Angeles Rams. You have a 3-game stretch of very, very hard games. From the Cowboys, who are always good in the regular season. Dak is an incredible regular season quarterback. You could say anything else about the playoffs, but this is a regular season schedule. Dak and the Cowboys are incredible in the regular season, especially towards the end. and you're heading towards the end of your season here. The Dallas Cowboys, Week 11. Chiefs, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, as long as he's your quarterback, they will make the playoffs. They will be competitive no matter who is around him. Week 12, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 13, we're rounding out the tough part of the schedule with the Rams, who we seem to have a back and forth rivalry with. I guess you could say NFC Championship. I will forever have a hate for the Rams because of that. It's not their fault, but I still hate them. Uh, Last season, that was a semi-fun game. Um, Not really for me because as dark as this is gonna get, my stepdad died that day, and I was watching the game from the hospital while grieving his death. Um, Weirdly, but that was not a fun game. We were down 30-7 at one point. Derek Carr led a fake comeback with a bunch of garbage time yards and touchdowns, whatever. Week 14, however, I'm just gonna get past that really dark segment of week 13. Moving on to week 14, we're gonna throw the New York Giants in there. Finish off. Oh, never mind. Not actually finish. Finish off NFC conference play. Finish off the. No, we're not finishing off anything because there's another one there. But New York Giants, we usually play them later in the season. I believe this past season we played them in week 15, so or 16 or something like that. So I mean, this is around the right spot you think they'd be at. There's a very good chance you play them early in the season because you've done that in previous seasons, like the 2018 season and 2021 season. However, I think the NFL is going to put them in the back half of our schedule. Going back to the AFC and the final AFC team, the one that a lot of us Saints fans are super excited for, and have a lot of us have a love-hate relationship with Sean Payton. We love him because of what he did for us. You know, he won us a Super Bowl. He brought us one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And he was a quarterback whisperer. Every time that Drew Brees was gone, people, they didn't fail to perform. Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian even did good, even though he didn't win. Everyone that you can think of under the sun, other than Ian Book, who played under Sean Payton, did pretty good. So, I mean, we love Sean Payton. However, we hate Sean Payton. He left us high and dry whenever things got dirty. He is a lot of the reason that the Saints are hated because of the Bounty Gate program that he and Greg Williams, enlisted. What else is there? He left us high and dry for another team, for a quarterback that was, better than what he had. But again, that was who Sean Payton was. He built these quarterbacks to play his way. That's who he is. And if you want to, we can argue that even though Russell Wilson's a better quarterback, it's not the guy he wanted. It's not. He went into a team that isn't his. He went into a team that isn't his. And he inherited a situation that is something that he doesn't like. And he gave us a first round pick and a second round pick that we're going to use this year. We got a hell of a defensive lineman out of that. That's another reason why we love him, because we got so much out of him. At least from the trade standpoint and what he did for us in the past. But again, a lot of us hate him because of the hate that he's brought towards the Saints organization in total and all around. But yeah, that is going to be a very fun game. One of my best friends is a Broncos fan, and we are both looking forward to this game whenever it is. I know it's at home. I would really like to go to this game too. That's another game I'd like to go watch, is the Broncos game. I'm going to try to make 2 games this season, probably Cleveland, did we play Cleveland away? No, okay, so Browns is home game. Well, never mind that then. I'm gonna try and make 1 or 2 games this year. It's either gonna be the Falcons or the Broncos game. If I can't make either of those, I'm gonna be incredibly sad. But moving on, I'm gonna get this over with, so I'm done yapping, and you guys can go about your day. Week 16. We're gonna put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, you gotta save a couple of division games for the later part of the season. Why not throw the Bucks in there? Last season it was the Bucks. Season before, I believe it was the Bucks. So why not make it the Bucks, right? Gotta have a double-digit week game against the Bucks. Putting week 16 there, which leaves us with one spot. Week 17 is going to be the Eagles. I know this is probably completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. I thought this would be a really fun video to do. Maybe, you guys can come back in a month whenever the schedule drops and see how I did. Who knows? Maybe I have the schedule that's, four regular season home opener tickets. Maybe I have the sideline passes. Maybe I get an autographed jersey from whoever it may be. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for watching this video. If you guys liked, make sure you drop a like. Comment how you think I did. Comment your predictions. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of the link that you could do that'll bring you to where you can guess the Saints schedule for 2024. But yeah, without further ado, that all being said, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.